eventually the Invoker will fall, fly. Actually does get out. Just everything going the way of Bed Bath & Beyond team right now. They should be able to take this tier 1 as well, if they want, or at least pressure at the very least. Fly takes an Infernal Blade for his troubles.
Of all the things you could have thought of, you thought of Bed Bath & Beyond.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You really are one of a kind.
Why don't you just focus on the game?
Fortunately, you're one of a kind. That's more than enough. Saika invading the enemy Ancient Camp. He'll only take one before he leaves. He realizes the rotation is coming, so he will back off. And it's these little advantages that BB team will keep striving to take now with this early laning stage. Just that little extra steal away of a camp, the little extra information with the Treant. You've definitely got plenty of space to work with, and you don't. That's what's also awesome about the draft they have, is they have a couple of nice pairings that can skirmish while also being strong in team fights. Yep. So the Treant plus Weaver is actually a very strong killer duo at this point in the game, but Treant can also just show up to a team fight, turn it around. Weaver is a really strong team fighting carry because of the Swarm right now. And then you also have Doom +1 generally results in a kill. Pango +1 generally results in a kill. So the way you as Nouns need to play the map right now is really complicated, because you can't just take the simple approach of, okay, if we dodge this type of fight or these specific heroes, we can do this or that. All of the possibilities when heroes are off map are actually terrifying. So what this probably results in is, with the Sand King Dagger, I would imagine that Nouns will want to try to look for a full-on team fight where they can use their big spells, but
wow.
BB team just don't give it to them. Okay, are they not
could have
steal?
They could have had the Wisdom Rune for sure,
They
but
are
playing it safe. You can see Fly actually took the opposing one.
Huh.
Nouns could have gotten away with 2, but
this is, especially Weaver, feels like a very safe candidate to try this with when you have backup, but okay. Maybe they don't know what 2 × 7 is.
Potentially. You never know with these players. They drop out of school early, you know, they play Dota all day. It's what we call brain rot, I think, in the business.
The brain rot boys.
I should have wrote that one down as well. As copy. We'll eventually find, surely, this Wisdom Rune is still there. Again, we talked about the first 2 Wisdom Runes are by far the most important. 6K lead now for BB team. And they are smoked up, looking for a fight.
Yeah. If it's on their terms, I really think both teams have extremely strong team fight possibilities, and it's so much about vision. And that's where having Treant and Weaver can be a real X factor. Toronto Tokyo will place one between the mid tier 1 and tier 2 tower to try to set up the fight on their terms. And Nouns don't really have good vision here. They have vision to the left of the lane, but that's not where any of the action is going to be. So they'll have to rely fully on the information from their tower, which, unfortunately for them, doesn't see through trees. So
maybe in the next patch.
A nice angle here, and this is just going to be a full-on free tower for BB team. Uncontested tier 1 mid. When are Nouns going to make their move? 2 kills in 16 minutes, and this is with Sand King Invoker.
Yeah.
These heroes are meant to be dominating
Gunnar,
at this.
He does have Blink, so
yeah, he's had it for a couple minutes, but they haven't really.
They haven't tried to do anything.
They haven't found an
surely
angle.
They're aligning it, or trying to align it with something else. Because this game is just going to fall further out of reach the longer it goes if you don't make a move.
That's the vibe I'm getting too, is that they are waiting for something, but I'm trying to wrap my head around what exactly it is, because at this point, if they're playing, they have to play to win here, not play not to lose. I don't think that's the right approach against a Doom lineup, is to just give him the whole map. The way we've seen Doom lose a lot of his games is that teams bring the fight to him and just overwhelm him before he gets too strong. In this case, BB team are just doing kind of whatever they want, and Nouns seem very timid. It's a stressful game. There's definitely some mental aspect going on here as well, because this is not the Nouns that we've seen in the Gaming Gladiator series, and also I feel like in Game 1 they were being more active and taking more initiative on the map. This has seemed very tame.
Yep, feels like they're playing a bit scared right now.
Yeah, that is not the way you win this.
Well, we can see the Belch brothers working towards the top side into the gate. And I mean, still 3 minutes till daytime. I mean, I feel like they could get Roche whenever they want, but maybe they have a different feel for the game right now.
Oh, you could argue that if you're playing against an Nouns team that isn't making the most moves, then that is where you offer them a fight. So you don't have to go to Roche. Their lineup's really good there. Invoker, Sand King in the pit.
Gunner, ooh, okay, just in time,
Nice
blinks
reaction.
out, Rolling Thunder. Not going to fully connect until now. Mortimer's Kiss is just out of range, but it's going to go for Lelis instead, and Miero jumps in. Gunner, he's going to get Snowball safe for now. Back into the Doom, but the Scatterblast just rips off his head. Fly will be next on the list for BB Team. The rest of Nouns get out. And I think they're about to discover the Wisdom.
Oh!
Oh, dear me. Did we forget about this one? Oh, dear. Doom wasn't even used this fight. Back to the fountain, and
He's okay.
Yeah, he's good.
It's pretty close, but 100 health to go.
Yep, that is a level 1 Doom, so level 2 would have surely done it.
What do you think of Invoker's cloak?
His cloak?
He looks like a bird.
Oh yeah, he does kind of look like Skywrath, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, this is the one that is from the Crownfall, right?
Oh,
I think.
I don't know.
He's giving me superhero vibes, but currently only in looks.
I was going to say, this
the superhero plays to match this cloak.
Yeah, definitely a rough game for Nouns, BB Team. All over them, like bread on butter.
Yeah. Mid tower.
No comment
Nouns.
on that, huh?
Nah.
Bread on butter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not good enough. Can do better. Actually, maybe not.
Yeah, that's true.
10,000 gold for the BB squad.
This is getting worse and worse for Nouns.
Yep. It's a bit of a broken record at this point, so it is really just a matter of can Nouns somehow open something up. They have yet to take a tower. We're 20 minutes in. You're playing against Treant, who hasn't even skilled living armor, so you can't put the blame on that. They have just genuinely, the waves have been pushed out all the time, and BB Team have played a very constricting style, which is, you know, a very powerful way of playing Dota right now.
So Tokyo was spotted, will use his Overgrowth, only going to find Fly.
Yeah, he thought there were way more heroes. There was clear he was overgrowthing and backing off, and now they're like, wait, that was only Tusk?
Yeah, 2 ultimates used.
And he is...
Lost Fly. He's a goner.
Back to the fountain.
Now Aghanim Scepter for GPK. That, very good Ags for that hero, of course.
And I think this time around, BB Team will not forget the Wisdom Rune, because they are actually going to stay here for a bit. They're going to steal the Tormentor.
Now, who will get the shard is the only question. It'll be saved. So the cookie will have a little Mortimer's Kiss for everybody.
And it heals 200. It used to be a talent on Snapfire.
Yep.
And now she gets it through the shard, and also...
It also used to jump you further, and they got rid of that.
Yeah.
Which could be a quality of life, depending on your perspective.
Definitely had its moments that it was not ideal. I would say it made it better defensively, but a lot of the time worse offensively, because it was harder to hit the right distance. Sanjin Yasha now completed on Saika. An item we see sometimes, but I want to say among the carry pool, a somewhat infrequent pickup. Maybe once in every 5 games there's one of these. But he likes it here, wants to get the status resistance, 25% against all these stuns. And despite that, will still aim for a BKB by the looks of it after his shard. But that is just another successful objective for BB Team. And
yep, and with that Aegis, I mean, there's still 3 tier 2s for Nouns. This does feel like it's so way later than it actually is, just because of how much of a shellacking it is right now.
Gunner stuns and gets out.
Yeah. One of the few good things to happen to Nouns this game.
One of them didn't die.
Yeah. That is precisely correct. I mean, this tier 1 bot is still up.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to take as well. There's so many uncertainties for them. They have decent vision. They have some vision on the left right now that is actually showing the Weaver as well as Treant. So with that info, Nouns could go for an aggressive play here. They're pinging it right away. Now that they saw Weaver Tree over there, they're maybe assuming that BB team will try for the Tormentor, which they would be right in assuming. And perhaps they can rely on that to bring them back. But BB team have overcome their fiercest demon. Even the Tormentor can't stop them now.
Oh, wait, you
Gunner.
spoke too soon. Gunner with the Burrow Strike. Gleipnir's going to miss because of the Yules. It actually blinks out. Might be okay. GPK in the meantime. And they might find him anyway.
Oh, did they not see him there?
And he's dodging quite nicely, but the
see
cooldowns eventually will come to bite him, surely. The last right click is indeed enough for Baseball Team, who now have a 12K lead, 14-2 advantage, and the Aegis still for quite a while. And Copy, it feels like he's been running around the map in Ghostwalk the entire game. That's what
Nero has
like.
BKB.
Yes,
Doom
he
and
does.
Walker.
Will be dooming. One of the high ground is Copy. Actually does get out. Fly in the meantime will be met by Nightfall, who kills the Courier first. And will get Tusk after the
extra
fact.
snack.
Delicious.
And Miro will get that kill with the Infernal Blade damage over time. Yeah, I think calling them Baseball Team right now is actually, it feels like what they're playing with Nouns.
Yeah.
It's a very, one team is the bat and the other is the ball, and we would like to see both teams have a little bit of a bat.
Bat on bat action.
Yeah, would be nice.
All right. Nightfall out of mana. Obviously still the Aegis for 2.5. We'll eat a Lotus. And get Greaves for good measure, so he's in fighting shape again.
And Nouns, it looks like, okay, they've had enough. We have to force something. The unfortunate thing is, I think the conditions are even harder than they were earlier. Now you're fighting into Aegis and an additional 7,000 gold than 5 minutes ago. I guess you have a little bit of a timing with your Wind Ranger BKB.
Leipnir under 2, and there's
she needs to get it off, though.
GPK with the Rolling Thunder. Nightfall getting quite low, but time lapses, and now Gunner, isolated from the rest of this team, gets an Epicenter off, doing quite a bit of damage, but it's going to be a trade for a Treant Protector at the end of the day. So a 1-for-1. And I don't see why they need to stop now. Yeah, Lelis is likely a goner. Copy being focused by GPK. Mortimer's Kisses still has that. As the Gleipnir going to hold him in place temporarily. Copy just barely gets away. The dust not going to clip him. Fly, though, not going to be so lucky. So big Brontosaurus team with this Aegis should be able to get this tier 2. And we'll see how much more they can get after the fact.
And I will say, the way this is looking right now, it is looking like a brutal beatdown.
Brutal beatdown team. That might be their name, actually. They've definitely had some closer series, we'll say that. But again, Cinderin, of all the teams to throw this lead away, this is the one. Will it happen, though? What do they need to do for that to happen? GPK would need to be transformed into GP Keck, and then Nightfall would just need to BKB TP despite having the advantage. Just all their usual suspects, you know?
Damn, you have really embraced memes. You used to be so against it. I'm proud of you. You've come a long way.
Well, you need time to, or you need things to fill the game sometimes. When it's an 18-3 game, surely you gotta find something. Deep within, as Lelis gonna break the smoke. And he is dead. Yep, Copy.
Yeah.
Nightfall doesn't have that, he actually kills off the Hurricane Pike holding Courier. That's gonna be pretty annoying for Copy. At least he gets out with his life, though. He has had that Ghost Walk activated for seemingly most of this game. Is that just me?
I mean, he's got 153 CS, so it's not like he hasn't.
No, I'm not
creeps,
saying. Yeah, it's just every time we look at him, he's Ghost Walked. It's a great spell, though, of course.
I mean, as easy as it is to harp on them not really looking for fights, you also have to understand just how difficult it is, right? There's a reason that Nouns are struggling to find fights on their terms and playing keep away, because the vision from Treant, the vision from the Weaver, the aggression that BB Team have been able to bring since the laning stage has made it really tricky for them to actually handle this. But ultimately, you just have to be like, we've talked about this in previous casts in the past, sometimes a 10% play is the best one, because the alternative is 0. Like, you gotta take a fight that's very hard to execute where specific things need to happen, because if you don't,
this happens.
You wait another 10 minutes, and it's 5%, you know? So I will say, I understand that Nouns, it's an elimination game, and it's really difficult, and they're struggling with it. They have to try for something, or you're just going to keep bleeding. Now they're going to bleed Gunner down here.
Oh my! All right,
Nightfall. Yeah, the Weaver is pretty strong. So
yeah, I would say so.
He has a lot of net worth.
Copy, in Ghost Walk. He's dead.
He's bye-bye.
Easy kill for Balloon Busting Team, and they are just everywhere. They've really just been on top of things today. Game 1 was pretty stompy as well, Cinder, but not this. This is taking it to a new level.
And I think at this point, the sample size is starting to matter, right? This just seems like a really bad matchup for this team. Nouns were on a recovery path. They came out of group stage 2 and 4. They're not looking too hot. Then all of a sudden they 2-0 Spirit. They have a good series against Gaimin. And then they get back to face the team that absolutely obliterated them on day number 1, especially in game number 1. And this series is just seeming a little bit like a repeat. It's unfortunate for them that they get the same matchup again, but that's how it is sometimes. You're going to have to try to learn from your previous series and improve. And if anything, it seems like BB Team have figured them out even more. This is easily one of the most one-sided games of the entire tournament, and we're approaching the top 8 spot here. And there's a clear separation in this matchup between the two. Okay, Nouns. Hail Mary.
They need it.
It is now or never.
Fly breaks the smoke. Instantly stunned. There's a shackle, but Psycho pops the BKB. Miero follows suit. He's going to use the Doom onto the Windrunner, attempting to TP out, but no. No TP for you. And now a double kill for Nightfall as Fly takes a tumble as well. So that was the move from Nouns, and it results in 2 deaths.
Would have loved to see this fight break down 10 minutes ago, just to see. Maybe it goes the exact same way, you know? Like, maybe this... I just feel like this was even harder than what it could have been. Clearly, after 10 minutes in this game, I feel like BB Team were in a commanding position the whole time, and it was going to be difficult to avoid this outcome. But it always sucks a little bit to go out with this much of a whimper. I feel like this series does not do Nouns justice.
Yeah.
If this is the first series of Nouns you watch all tournament, you're like, man, how did this team make it to this stage? But they've had some really good games along the way.
Yeah, I think this
series is just not it.
This is just a really bad matchup for them.
It just is. But the question is why? Because they weren't necessarily... In this game, the lanes went poorly, so I get it. Like, you're against BB Team, you lose the lanes, and they roll you. That happens to many teams. But in the previous game, the laning stage actually went quite well, and then still... Oh, gonna go on to save. He's very tanky. He still has the cookie, too.
Yep. They even pop Epicenter, and they just cannot find anything. Instead, they're going to take Mortimer's Kisses as Miero. Not able to get to the high ground, but GPK will come to save the day. Nice attempt from Fly to save him, but it's not to be this game. Game number 2 has Big Bonanza written all over it. So 2 deaths already for Nouns.
Huma's in
Nightfall
instant
looking
overgrowth.
to clean everybody up. Copy desperately trying to at least find 1 kill in this fight for them. As Save still remaining alive. He gets shackled, finally brought to his knees. But it's a full team wipe, as Nouns miserably lose this fight. Ultra kill for Nightfall. And this, I believe, is the beginning of the end for Nouns at TI.
And in a patch where we have talked about how the net worth between teams is often quite close, even when one team is seemingly ahead by a meaningful amount in the flow of the game, this one is now approaching the good old magical 1,000 GPM lead per minute.
Oh.
As BB Team is now 31k ahead, minute 31. This is good old absolute stomping of a game, and for this patch, even more so. If this is what we were used to being a one-sided game, think about now just how incredible of a display of domination this is. A clinical game. They barely made a single mistake. The only moment I can think of was that little bit of a mess up with the cookie top, right? I have to go back 25 minutes to a bit of a mistake on a 3-on-1 gank that did not lead to a kill. Aside from that, this has basically just been everything the way they wanted.
Yeah.
Just so clean. Saika now 12-0-9 on that Weaver, which is, you know, we've seen some very strong carry Weaver games. We've also seen misses, and this is a great illustration of why this hero can be an incredible carry, because when things go well early, he has been absolutely crushing them in every move.
For sure.
And this is a Gone. Roshan as well. Feels like it's just a matter of time before BB team go high ground and get team wiped.
You know what the sad thing is? Maybe it's not even, it wouldn't be sad for Nouns, and it's actually somewhat believable. I could actually see it, because I have seen it many times. I mean, but like you said, this is a it's seemingly insurmountable lead.
Borderline unlosable.
Yeah.
But what a comeback that would be.
Yeah, another Tormentor about to be in BB Team's name. Do they even have any shards to get? Yes, Miero will get the shard that I believe Gunnar received the other day for Doom that actually helped them win that game.
Heal on Scorched Earth whenever it deals damage, 60% of it. Toronto, Tokyo will find Gunnar.
Yep, I hear a Rolling Thunder. He's going down the path of no resistance.
He might get out here, actually.
He blinks.
Phase boots.
The ball's coming for it. Oh God, not the fountain anywhere, but the Lotus
known
fountain.
Edge on the map. Apparently there was a wall there.
Yep.
Yuma in mid, forcing the BKB here.
The Doom applied.
They're killing him anyway. He's just
from
dead.
Nightfall. He's going to tick down eventually. Remember, he still has his Aegis as Gunnar taking a beating. He's dead as well. That is the Aegis. Mortimer Kisses being strewn apart. Toronto Tokyo with a big overgrowth onto 2. And now the Shikuchi in with the extra Geminate attacks. 4 dead for Nouns. And BB Team looking to close this game out in style. Better believe in us, team. It's a couple buybacks for Nouns. And they're going to go for the barracks, it seems, as GPK with the Rolling Thunder. Velas is still spotted. Now he's just isolated in a corner. Very Blair Witch Project type of activity here, looking at the wall and dying.
That's not 2 Bs.
That's because it's on Nouns, Cinder, and pay attention. It's going to be a full team wipe. An eventual GG as they put the Roshan's banner next to the fountain. That's going to do something. They're styling over them right now. Deleting circlets, save. That happened unironically in the last series.
Did he actually drop his own circlet and destroy it?
No, it's somebody else destroyed it by accident.
No, I mean just now.
Yeah, right now. Yes.
Oh, man.
2 barracks down. 2 full lanes down, I should say, in favor of BB Team.
And it's just a matter of time before they force the bye-bye.
Bye-bye, team. Nice.
The enemy high ground. Saika, by many considered one of the bad boys of Dota.
I like how you're finally embracing it. Right at the end of the game. The end of the series, I should say. Bushwhack into the sharpshooter. What can Nouns do to defend this? Probably nothing, as it is 45K. I don't think we've seen that type of a lead.
First time this tournament for me.
Yeah.
At least.
And this will be the old mega creeps as Nightfall will pop the BKB in retreat. So Nouns will continue to hold on, hoping that BB Team will have the worst throw of their lives.
Well,
knowing their history, you never know what lies at the end of this game.
Gaben gives them 2%. 1%.
I mean, I can't blame them. If it's a 1% chance, you take it at TI.
I thought you meant like, don't blame it's 1% because it's BB Team. It's like, as if the graph actually cares about the team's history or something.
Gaben knows BB Team's history, all right?
As much as you love to harp on previous errors they've had in closing games out, You got to give credit where it's due. This has been extremely clean the whole way through.
Yeah.
They've sieged down 3 lanes of barracks without losing a hero. There's been absolutely no room given to Nouns in these fights. They haven't found a single avenue to exploit any weakness, because fairly, the Radiant hasn't shown any. So
I never noticed that the shard actually physically shows when you click on it, and then it just disappears because they don't have any anymore. 50k lead for BB team, just rounding up here.
Yeah, so
You guys round up in Denmark?
No, that's an American-only thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
I figured.
What's round? A circle?
Yeah, technically true, I guess.
Okay.
A balloon. Big old balloon. So Nouns resigned to their base. I mean, surely, we'll see how much PTSD BB team had, because they could obviously just finish this game right now, but there is Roche they could wait for.
I mean, you could also bask in the glory. This is effectively like the last, you know, the last course of the Tour de France, where you're just driving around and drinking a glass of champagne because you've already decided that you're the winner of the race.
Yeah.
That's what BetBoom are doing right now.
They're saying goodbye to NA. This is the final hope.
These guys don't drink, so they pop the smoke instead of the cork. And it's time to go.
Will be the recipient of this gank, if you want to call it that. 50 seconds of no buyback, a big overgrowth to Toronto, Tokyo to send NA back home. Nice attempted save there from Fly, but it is not to be. Like we've said, well, it's 2Bs twice, actually, because of BB team. As Gunnar desperately looking for one more kill. GPK
they got one.
Does fall. But it's an ultra kill for Nightfall as the GGs finally come out. And BB team will continue on while Nouns will not.
5, man.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay, so
riveting.
The thing that's worth keeping in mind here, looking forward in the tournament as we do say goodbye to Nouns, first of all, I think in many people's minds, they exceeded expectations. They had a couple of really good series, and this could have been more than what it ended up with. For the side of BB team, this was a team that people thought might just completely falter after what was a bit of a bad group stage. They've really heated up now, and they look like a team that could go far.
They do. We say that all the time, but we've seen banana bread teams so many times before, Shiver. What do you think now?
Oh, what do I think now about banana bread team, BB team, moving forward in the lower bracket in the road to the international? Can't wait to see what they can do in the grand stage. That's right, because they now secured themselves a place in Royal Arena, and their opponents we don't know yet. But I do want to point out that for BB team, there's a chance that their next round is up against Falcons, and for both of those teams, it would be such a disappointment to not be in the top 4 that I'm already imagining the spies. This is if Falcons makes it through. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Let's talk about this game too. It was a little bit of a beatdown. The cost. This was not a pretty picture. It was for BB team.
It was. They look great. On their heroes, pretty much no mistakes made in the game. We talked about this being a really bad matchup for Nouns. Bibbidi Bobbidi team, they did beat Nouns in the groups, having only 1 kill. And this game is pretty much the same. They had a couple more kills, but overall, when we see the drafts, this is not a bad draft by any means from Nouns. These are the type of the drafts that had quite a lot of success. If we talk about, you know, Invoker, Tusk, Wind Rangers, this is a very strong draft. Maybe some things could have been changed, but it comes down to gameplay. I think also a little bit of an inexperience knowing what's on the line, that if they lose the game, they're going to be, you know, eliminated from Road to TI. They're not going to be playing on the main stage, and I think it got into their heads.
Yeah, I think we should call a spade and just say Nouns got completely outclassed here. I mean, this entire game was dependent on the laning stage going well for Nouns. It didn't go well. They got completely outmaneuvered. I mean, they were caught off guard by an early level 2 on that Weaver Treant lane. They give away the first blood, that lane snowballs. Their mid lane went even as it should, and their top lane, which on paper should have won with a potential rotation, just got super pressured by BB team. And this is what this team is famous for. They are known as the strongest laners out of all of the tier 1 teams that we've watched this year. Every team is terrified to go up against them just because of their laning prowess. And this was Nouns' boon at the end of the day. They just could not recover from that abysmal laning stage.
Yeah, like 10 minutes in, there's a 4K lead already for BB. They've demolished everything. Their 3 cores are sitting at top net worth. They're looking to play the map. They're crushing the map. And yeah, unfortunately for Nouns, we praise them immensely for like the prep they bring to Spirit, but then the series after, it feels like they kind of fell off a little bit, where their prep just wasn't hitting the mark. Like the drafts that we're seeing today, like we know what BB's strong at. It just felt like Nouns didn't try to draft to counter BB's strategy. It felt like they're drafting for themselves, but they just have the the laning prowess, like Effie was mentioning, to be able to bring their own ideas to life. Like I think they had to respect BB a little bit more and try and play into what BB was doing and what makes them such a successful team.
I will also say, I think that this version of BB team that we're seeing in terms of how they played this game and how we saw them playing earlier today already against Talon, it felt like, first of all, it felt like the game could be shorter, but that is credit to BB team. It felt like they gave their opponents today, both teams that they knocked out, they gave them a lot of respect. And I'm slightly distracted by Saika's scoreline of 20-0-13. That's insane.
Pretty good. This guy, he can pop off. Also, this time around, he's not using one of his classic moves.